Hey Amazon sellers! In this video we're going to discuss about packaging to Amazon.
So, packaging to Amazon. First, I want to tell before we even start that this lesson will have a very detailed PDF underneath here with the lesson, so you can of course listen to us, but this all kind of the stuff is going to be inside the PDF. But I want to talk about packing to kind of show you different guidelines and things connected to packing. Not products as individual products on Amazon, like a kitchen knife in a beautiful box, as all the beautiful boxes packed in big boxes or master cartons, exactly, for shipping. So, Amit, can you tell me about this? Let's start from, say, what do we have? We have a few things to cover. We have loose cartons versus skids, LTL, SPD. We're going to get to that. Don't run away from these terms. Sizes of cartons, labels, and the little bonus in the end. So
in this video we didn't want to explain everything in regard to how to pack, what does it mean packaging to Amazon. This will be covered in the PDF shared in the link below. But essentially we would like to explain a bit about master carton, what the size that we can ship upon, and the difference again, what Vova, my good friend here, advised, okay? So if we start, so there is one rule of thumb, okay, based on Amazon TOS, which means that as long as you want to ship the goods and be determined as FBA fees, not as oversized cartons, okay? The carton size should not exceed 25 inch or 63.5 centimeters, okay? Per side. This is one. Second of all, carton cannot exceed 25 kg, okay, per carton. Otherwise, you will pay for additional fee for oversized cartons. In carton, you cannot put more than 150 units in a master carton, okay? So this is very important to remember. And that's basically in regard to packaging. Of course, we need to put the Amazon FBA labels, which we received once we open a shipping plan, correct? And we need to remember to not to put stripes or cover the cartons with any plastic or I don't know, any other kind of material. The labels should be face outside and be very clear to Amazon to scan it once you arrive to Amazon, okay? So this, I think, maybe the general rule of thumbs we need to remember in regard to packaging.
Yeah, and usually the not the freight forwarder, the supplier that provides you with your products, if they are aware of how to work with FBA, Amazon FBA, they know how to put the all the labels right, and they are aware that they not need to put different things that should not be on the carton. They know how to do that. And I have a question for you. For example, if I'm shipping with you and I'm like, Amit, I want to ship 1,000 knives with you, will you tell me if there's a problem with my boxes? Like, do you check them? Do you look at the labels, or this is more
normally we receive just cartons, master cartons, unless there is damage on the label itself, okay, or on the outside of the box. Unless there is damage on the box, so no, we never open the cartons.
Inside obviously, but outside, I mean.
Outside,
yes. You look if there's the label.
For sure. A lot of times, by the way, let's say you, Vova, open a shipping plan, you advise me, listen, the cargo will go to ONTH, let's say, in California, and the carton will arrive to us and we say, no, it's not to ONTH, it's going to FTW1, okay? So we as a logistics provider will apply to you, ask you, Vova, are you sure it's going to ONTH? Because the labels appear onto FTW1, okay? So this is one thing that happened a lot. Second issue, which I want to cover here, is in regard, do we ship as loose cartons or do we ship on skids, okay? Skids, pallet, okay? So first of all, we need to remember, if a client wants to ship the goods on pallets, okay, usually the pallets need to, the goods itself need to be breakable, meaning if you're shipping glasses or shipping product, there is a high scenario that the product will be damaged during transportation. So then normally we will advise you to put the goods on pallets or on skids, but essentially, unless told otherwise, we ship all the goods by loose cartons. And the reason of that we want to minimize as much as we can the total volume, okay, of CBM. And let's say you have 100 cartons, okay? the total CBM as a loose cartons can be, let's say, 10 CBM. If we put the same 100 cartons on skids, okay, so the volume can be now 14 or 15 CBM, okay? Eventually, when we talk about transportation and about logistics, doesn't matter if it's sea freight or air freight, we pay based on our total CBM. So of course we want to minimize the CBM as much as possible, okay? So therefore in China, when we loaded the container, we're putting only loose cartons, 1,000 cartons on top of each other in the container, and ship it to United States. Once it arrives to destination, it depends on the FBA center. There is an FBA center that we collect the goods, bring it to our warehouse or our facility in the States or in Canada or in Europe, repalleting the goods on pallets and deliver it based on Amazon TOS, okay, on pallets. But for the, let's say, major FBA centers such as ONT8, LGB8, LX9, FTW1, MDW2, ABA8, etc., we bring the goods to the port and deliver it directly to Amazon as a loose carton. Okay? So the major factor when we want to ship goods rather by loose cartons or rather by skids, mainly the first factor if the goods are breakable or not, and the second one, as long as the goods are general cargo, okay, so we ship the goods by loose cartons.
But for me as a seller, I'll come to you and I'm gonna be like, Amit, I need to ship here or there. You will take care of this. You'll tell me like, well, Vova, so for your specific case, because your product is this and that, then you'd rather do it on pallets.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
You're gonna say, no, better do loose cutters.
Exactly.
So you will provide the
most of the time, I must say that most of the time when people advise me I want to ship it by pallets, okay, from origin, so I convince them to ship it as loose cartons, okay? Because eventually we're looking to minimize the cost, the logistics cost for the seller, and 100% to ship the goods as loose cartons will be more cost effective than adding pallets. Also, don't forget that any Chinese shipper, okay, will request for you around something between $25 to $35 per pallet, okay? You can put, let's say, something around 1.5 CBM on pallet, okay? So let's say you have 15 CBM, so you will need something around 8 pallets. It will cost you just the pallets around $200. Okay, so this is another point why usually we recommend to ship by loose cartons.
So your goal obviously is to save us money, to help
100%.
us. I mean,
optimizing your cost.
Exactly, optimizing cost. Everybody wins here. Yes, everybody needs to profit as well, but you want to help us, I understand, to make it better. I see, man.
Another issue, Vova, that I'm 100% believe that we need to cover here is once, and maybe you can add a bit more on that, once you open a shipping plan, you request to advise if it's going by SPD or LTL, okay? So what is the major difference, okay? SPD is a small partial delivery, LTL is less than truckload, okay? It can be just a lesson to cover this subject, but if I will try to bring a rule of thumb, okay, in this case, so as long as we ship the goods as a C regular, okay, regular C, when delivery is done by truck, we will use LTL, okay? And the trucking company will be at Amazon. There is an option trucking company will be other, okay? So it's just a trucking company in the States or in Europe, doesn't matter. If we ship Sea Express, Air Freight, Air Express, okay? We will choose SPD, and the carrier will be UPS, FedEx, DHL, determined by the carrier, okay? But this is a rule of thumb. When you open shipping plan, so instead of asking your freight forwarder, should I open this as LTL or should I open this as SPD? If you are shipping the goods as C plus truck delivery, okay, regular air, so please open this as LTL and trucking other. And if you open this, if you ship the goods as C Express or Air Express, as long as the final delivery trucking company will be UPS or FedEx or DHL, so you should apply as SPD and FedEx or UPS as a ground delivery.
I understand, man. Yeah, thanks for the tip. But again, if, for example, a new seller, he's still not sure, he's gonna be like, yeah, I want to open a shipment, I want to work with you, but which one should I open? Can your people kind of suggest or just give, not exactly suggest, just give like pretty much what you explained to me?
They just can apply it to us. We will give you the explanation. We advise you which shipping plan you should open.
All right, man, perfect. And well, we have the next point here is labels, but did we speak about this already?
Yeah, so eventually the labels need to be clear on the carton, on the outside carton. When we discussed about shipping labels on the carton itself, so we need to put 2 labels on each carton. If we ship by skids, so we need to put 4 labels on the pallets itself, but I really don't believe that it's something essential to the seller itself, because usually it's done by the shipper or the freight forwarder itself.
I see.
Right?
And and the last point I see is keep it clean, which we talked about before, I guess. Also keeping the carton clean without any distractions, so we don't cause any problems for Amazon to read our labels or just to
scan our labels. Amazon, if you put stripes or I don't know, cover the carton by any material, you can get like a warning from Amazon. Please next time do not put stripes or I don't know whatever on the carton itself. So I can advise, but maybe for you maybe advise this better than me, that Amazon regulation and Amazon TOS is something that we must follow the rules, otherwise for sure they can close your list or suspend you or whatever, so essential to follow
better
Amazon
just
TOS.
to follow Amazon's guidelines, keep it clean, and usually the foreign companies are gonna, unless you do something, they're not gonna not keep it clean, therefore just keep it clean. And I guess that's it for the packing lesson. And remember, there's the PDF with a lot of information about packing that...
not only the master carton, also about the unit itself.
Yeah, that's right. So, you mean on the box of the unit. It also needs to be the FNSKU, needs to be, the barcodes need to be clear. And I'm not going to get into other things that you can't put on your package, such as maybe nude things or something, which kind of makes sense not to. But also keep it clean and... Number 5.
Good luck. Number 5 is done.